Hello gorgeous people, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about a few little things, super soldiers. I'm going to talk about how many people are awake now and how the waves of awakening are going. And I'll tell you all about it on the other side. Let me first start by mentioning, you may have noticed that I changed the logo on the site. Why did I do that? Well, because I had a number of complaints that logo that I had was linked to a bad group. Okay, and when I looked, yes, I suppose it was, but certainly it wasn't my intention. And you know, I had the word peaceful rebellion. Right, so I'm not the peaceful as in reasonably peaceful protests that they do on the television. Reasonably peaceful protests, only 3 people were killed. No, peaceful rebellion, that was the whole point. However, I don't want to stumble anybody, so I've changed it anyway to something a bit more kind of along those lines. All right, so I was talking to the emissaries and I want to tell you the words. I was just saying, how's everything? I want you to tell you the words that they said. Now, sometimes what happens when I'm talking to them is they repeat a sentence, they repeat a phrase a number of times, sometimes 3 times. I pay attention when they repeat. It stands out, as in, this is something that they really want to emphasize. They don't always do it. And so I said, is everything okay? And they said, everything is as it should be. And they said, you must understand, Gordon. These are their words. There is nothing out of place. And they said that 3 times. There is nothing out of place. Now, that kind of, the idea behind it is the all is well. But what they were talking about was that they said, there are happening and you are going, or you all are going to see tough, shocking things that are happening. But they said, understand, it's all according to the plan. It's all happening according to the plan. And that's why they were saying there's nothing out of place. So what we're seeing, even though it looks bizarre and horrible sometimes, put in the back of your mind that it's all part of what has to happen. Right? These things have to happen. Remember, we said before, for people to wake up, they've got to suffer. They've got to suffer. Right? We're suffering sometimes watching it, but we're not suffering in the way that other people have to suffer. You know, so just let everything go. Keep yourself distant from it. Don't start identifying with what's happening. You know, I mean, half of it you couldn't identify anyway because it's absolutely fucking stupid, crazy. It's like in another world of stupidity, that the stuff that's happening. So don't identify with it. Just know that as you see stuff, it's what would be worrying is if nothing was happening, which is like, you know, status quo, normality. No, it's like constantly stuff is happening all of the time. Take that as a good signal. Good happening, good signal. Bad happening, good signal. That's it. Yeah. So I said to them, so you know all of the, you know, all the stuff that's happening with the, you know, goodies, baddies and all of that. What about, because somebody asked me to ask this question, what about the super soldiers, you know, that are working in the tunnels and everything like that? Do they exist? And the emissary said, yes, but we don't talk about that. End of conversation. We don't talk about that. What they were saying was that the kind of, they say we don't talk about that, and then they give me some other explanation, which they said the baddies have had a network that is centuries old. That's what, these are their words, okay? A network that is centuries old that must be dismantled, and it is being dismantled. Okay, so that's what they say. It's being dismantled. And then that was it. They had nothing else to say on that. It's not, you see, it's not their role. That's not what they're here for. They don't get into those details. And they said it since from the beginning until now. I remember, you know, when the whole Trump thing was happening before before the election and all of that. And I used to say to them, is Trump going to save us? And is this all going to be? And they would say, we don't talk about things like that. We don't get involved in that kind of thing. There is nobody who is coming to save anybody. They used to say, we are saving ourselves. We're all part of a plan. We're all saving ourselves. So they never ever got into anything like that. And I'm pleased. And I'll tell you for why. I'm pleased because then I didn't start giving information and then having to withdraw that information, like with egg on your face, going, oh, well, maybe. No, they've always been really clear. And they don't, and I'm sure, there's a lot of times where I'm projecting my thoughts onto what they're saying as well. But in that, they've always been stalwart. They've never, ever gone down the line of, I'll give you some details and stuff like that. Never. And I've asked, I still ask, just checking. Can you give any information yet? No. But I said to them, how are the waves going? The waves of the awakening. Remember, the politics were going to wake people up. Medicine was going to wake people up. And all of these waves. And they showed me, have you ever tried to download 4 or 5 files at the same time? And you get this little, like a list of the files and then the green download strip that starts to go across. It shows you how much is being downloaded, yeah. That's what they showed me. And they said all the waves are happening beautifully and there's a lot of downloading going on and they're all happening at the same time. Okay? So it was for them, and they just say this all the time, everything is perfect. Everything is going really well. And I said to them, so, in your opinion, because for whatever reason, they're okay with giving me percentages. Don't know why. They're okay with percentages. But they're always very rounded percentages, okay? It's just general. They're like, flash me a number. So I said to them, how are we doing in the awakening process? And they give me 40%. Now, if you remember, a while ago it was 35%. They said 40% now. And inside of that, remember, I don't know how they measure that. I'm not saying that it's 40% of the people who are in our position. It's 40% of the population who are in some process of awakening. And remember, that can be in denial, but they can still be like having this, something's wrong. I think there's an awful lot of people in the position of something is wrong. This is what I hear when I talk to people. I don't know what the hell's going on, but something is wrong. Yeah? That might involve the 40% as well. Yeah? So I said to them, by the way, what does what do we need to get that tipping? Where do we need to be? And they said 45% is when we really start to, where it's kind of like the dam walls burst, and that's it, off. I mean, we are a force to be reckoned with. I said these words, but imagine, let it run a little bit more. Imagine when we are heading toward being the majority. Because remember, we've got all these numbnuts, like these noggins, who are thoughtless. So, if we are 40% of real people with real thoughts and understanding what's going on, that's a fucking ton of us, for God's sake. Yeah. So we're doing all right. Okay. And if it's a little bit more, a little bit less, it doesn't matter. It's the feeling that I get. I get a really good feeling. I really feel good about where we are. I really do. I've never felt such a calmness as I do now. Like, yeah, now the ball's rolling. I mean, is it going to be a smooth ride? No, not at all. I don't think so. I really don't think it's going to be a smooth ride. But let's see. I think for us, knowing what we know, it might be slightly smoother than for others. But we don't think that's a bad thing, do we? So, I love you all. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.